morning and welcome to Local Talk. I am your host, Angela Allen with Granville County Tourism Development Authority. I don't know if y'all noticed, but I'm obviously outside the studio today and excited to be at, let me go ahead and put it out there, one of my favorite places in Granville County. Actually, one of the first places as the tourism director that I actually got to visit and to be a part of, and have been with close guys 9 years in this position. And this is one of my go-tos when I talk about unique places and things to do in Granville County. This is Cedar Creek Gallery. I am so grateful. It is tucked away in Creedmoor, right off of the highway, and I have the lovely privilege this morning to be with Miss Lisa Oakley, who is second generation of owning this particular gallery and this property. Good morning, Lisa.
Good morning, Angela.
I'm so happy. I am so happy to be here. I have so many fond memories, honestly, when I started this position, and we were just talking about this off camera. I didn't know quite what I was doing, but I knew I had to seek out those secret places, those unique spots, those things that really would tell visitors in our area, we're worth coming to see. We're worth making the drive. We're worth off the beaten path. And I don't know about you, but I think this gallery is pretty much off the beaten path.
Yep. Pretty much.
Definitely so.
It's getting closer to civilization every day.
I know, like just the amount of people that it attracts to the area. You're like, well, we're getting out just a little bit further, just a little bit. But I kind of wanted to take the time this morning to kind of do a little bit of an origin story, and pretty much, how it came to be, how you actually grew up in this and all of this, and just where it is right now. We're really here, guys, at a very special time. Here at the gallery. This is their annual spring pottery and glass festival time, and when you guys actually see this, they would have gotten through their first weekend and they're actually going into the second weekend. So this is the one time, or I should say 2 times during the year, that you actually get to see the studios, you get to see the artists and do their live demonstrations, but minus the festival. Mm-hmm. Growing up, Lisa, with your lovely parents, Pat and Sid, like how in the world did this lovely place even come to be, even as a kid when you were growing up?
Well, they lived in Butner, and they were firing their pots in a kiln on our back porch, and they wanted to have a place of their own where they could have gas kilns and, the other things that potters need. And they bought a piece of land here in Northside, technically. They bought a tobacco field.
And that's something?
And they put their kilns here and put a shelter over their kilns. And then shortly after that, they built a studio, and then they built us a house. Now, notice the order.
Well, this was the level of importance.
Well, I guess we technically already had a house, so they could wait on that one. But so they built it up, and they had no idea really what was going to happen. They were big fans of Penland School in the mountains of North Carolina. And so they just got out here, and they brought their young family. I was about 3, I guess, when it started.
Many moons ago.
Many moons. I didn't ever think about it. This was all normal to me. This is where I grew up. My parents were potters, and they both worked in clay. My dad mostly did wheel thrown work. My mom did some wheel thrown and a lot of hand building. And it just grew from there. Other potters wanted to come be around these potters, and just got some energy.
Just build your own community basically here. So you kind of deviated from the path of pottery as you grew up here and as you grew up with other artists. So tell me how you came into your art form that you do.
Well, I am a glass blower, and purely by accident, again, Penland School in the mountains of North Carolina. They send out a catalog every year, and I looked at that catalog, and there was about 25-word description of a 2-week class in person. You go live there for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And it said beginner, and it said glass blowing. And I just made comment to
Uh-huh.
my mom about it, and she's like, "Well, they fill up fast. Better call them."
Hop on it.
And then about an hour later, I mentioned it to my dad, and he says, "Well, they fill up fast. You better call them." And so I called them. And then, lo and behold, the first night of that class, I called home and I said, "This is what I want to do."
Oh,
I
wow.
just fell in love with the magic of glass.
Wow.
Um, it just caught me.
It just called you.
Yeah.
So, in those first days of doing blowing glass, like, what was your favorite thing to do when you were learning?
We were talking about this in the studio the other day. It's something called trimming.
Okay.
So, when your piece starts out on the blowpipe, and then you finish the bottom of it, and you put another pipe on the end of it, and then you crack it off of the blowpipe, and so it's jagged sometimes, or might have tool marks and things on it. So you heat it, and you pull it out with some tweezers, and you literally take steel scissors and cut it.
Oh,
And
wow.
that is one of my favorite things.
That is really cool.
Yeah, nobody else likes to do that, but I do.
That's okay, because you're an OG, so we'll let you have that. The coolest thing for me from this perspective, particularly seeing Lisa's passion for glass, when I started in this position back in 2015 and came to my very first festival and actually got to see her blow at the time, and it was a big difference. Like, you've got a whole team of people that blow with you now, but I remember in 2015, it was you blowing. It was you explaining. It was you telling people all about the process. And my daughter, Allison, was only 4
Wow.
at the time. And I will never forget that moment of wonderment and just awe when she said, "That's how you make glass." And I think, honestly, that's really the draw for this particular place, in my opinion. You guys make beautiful items here out of all different types of materials, but particularly in my opinion, festival time is actually where you can get the appreciation of the things that are made and the people who make them and everything. So tell me, how did the festival part even work out or come to be? Because I know it draws people from all over now, but how did you guys come up with the idea, like, let's put ourselves on display?
Well, first of all, I'm not really sure, 50 years ago, how anybody found us out here.
I know,
That's
right?
still a question, and I'm like, how did that happen? But,
Yes.
they came, it was a dirt road.
Yes,
And they
it
came down the
was.
dirt road and to this quaint little spot and found us. But potters work, they work and work and work for weeks and weeks. And then they fill their kiln up.
Yeah.
And they fire the kiln. And then once it's cool, they open the doors of the kiln, and it's a kiln opening.
Yeah.
And kiln opening is the time when everybody sort of everybody who knows about you wants to draw in and see what comes out of that kiln. It's exciting.
Just the
time.
process.
So we used to have kiln openings because it was just pottery back then.
Yeah.
And so those were our twice a year kiln openings. And when I started blowing glass, my dad insisted that we change the name of it to the Pottery and Glass Festival.
Just that simple.
Just that simple. I was like, no, and he was right,
Of course he would.
But it is our time to open the doors to the studios. I mean, we work all year. This is how we make a living.
Yes.
But we're not always doing something that's exciting to watch, or our schedule might be off. So, you might catch somebody working. But we invite you into the studios during this time and show you what goes into making things. Because it's, there's shows like Blown Away now where you can kind of get into behind the scenes.
Yeah, and it's kind of cool to watch that on television or streaming it or whatever the case may be. But when you're actually in the presence
You can feel
of
the
that
heat.
art, oh my God. You can feel the heat. Oh my Lord. I mean, it does not matter what particular demonstration that you're looking at. But if they're dealing with fire, you're going to feel as much as they're feeling.
Yeah.
But of course, they're going to make sure you have a boundary so you don't go over
keep
it.
safe.
But definitely it's the atmosphere, in my opinion, of actually being right there, able to see, to feel, smell, actually be a part of the whole process of the things that you do. One particular special thing that I love that you guys do during the spring festival time is in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. These are the beautiful eggs that Lisa herself actually makes right before festival time, but carries it all the way through. But there's a really great purpose for making these eggs. So tell my audience today, like, exactly why you do eggs every spring.
Well, this has evolved over time, but now we make, or I make, and it's a team of people in the glass studio, so it's not just me in there by myself. The guys are helping me, and I make 55 eggs, 5 of which we will auction off to the highest bidders, and 55 that we raffle off. And all the money that we raise goes to the food bank in Central and Eastern North Carolina. So that's, at some point I said we are strong as a business, and we need to give back to our community, and we need to be very conscious and very proactive about making that happen. So this is one of the things we do, and I don't make these I don't make these eggs to sell ever.
Never.
So the only time I make these eggs, all right, I do make a few more than 55 because my mama gets one every
Okay,
year.
I'm sorry, but you know, she kind of gets it. Like, yeah.
No. Well, she was there assisting me when I was, before there were people who knew how to blow glass. I was like, I need help.
Aww.
But, if you can't give one to your mama,
I don't know what you're doing this for.
That's right. But I don't sell them. So they are.
You
they
can
are
only get them during this time.
That's right.
And you have to do it by raffle or by auction. So that's the great part, and it gives right back to, like you said, the food bank here in North Carolina. And for you guys that don't know, we actually have our own local food pantry, which is the area congregations and ministry that covers all of Granville County, which is affectionately called ACIM, but they are actually one of the ones that actually gets food from this particular food bank, but it's spread throughout the whole state of North Carolina. So not only is the gallery giving back to one of our community pantries, but all the food pantries that are connected with that organization throughout the state. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity, and if people want to hop on this band egg wagon, what do they have to do in order to get a chance at getting one of these beautiful eggs?
Well, of course we would love to have them come out to the gallery.
You have to.
And you come out and, you can see the eggs in person, you can see the gallery, but if you can't make it out before the end of this weekend and you want to get one, you can go to cedarcreekgallery.com. And there's a place on the website to buy raffle tickets.
Awesome. And you guys do a pretty good, in my opinion, donation because of these eggs. So over the years, how much have you guys contributed to this particular project?
I don't know a cumulative total.
No, but you could just pick a year if you want to and compare it to another year.
last year we raised about $32,000 for the food bank, which is if I do some math, it's like 160,000 meals.
That's awesome.
Because the food bank, the reason we picked the food bank is, one, because I believe that everybody has the right to wake up and eat.
Yes.
Or, to go home and their food is just essential to us as humans. But I think it's like 93% of the money that is given to the food bank is actually used for the outreach that they do. Yeah. And, there are a lot of organizations that don't get quite that high level of really making return on the money. So it's one of our favorites.
Well, guys, you have just gotten a sneak peek into Cedar Creek Gallery and with the lovely Lisa Oakley on how it all got started, how the festival came to be about, these beautiful eggs that we have in front of us. But I got just a little bit more for you. We're going to take a little mini tour around the gallery and tell you about some of the things you can expect to see actually if you come this weekend. And keep in mind, this is the last weekend, so hold on tight. We're about to tell you what you can do at the Glass and Pottery Festival this weekend. Guys, we had a great first segment about Cedar Creek Gallery, but I kind of actually wanted to take you guys on a little bit of a tour. So I actually have Christine with me. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much. Christine is my go-to girl over here at the gallery. Her official title, though, is
Marketing, PR, wear all the hats.
Wherever she needed.
Fill her in her.
So she's actually going to take us through different segments of the gallery, but also different places that you actually need to visit when you come out to the festival. So let's take a quick walk through Cedar Creek Gallery. Hey guys, this is actually a really cool thing that you can do while you're here at the festival. I'm gonna let Christine explain the historical walk that you can take of the gallery.
Well, I had learned so many stories just in the short amount of time I've been here with Lisa and all of the people who work here. So I just thought it would be fun to share that with people, because a lot of people don't know all these stories about how the barns got here and how the trees got here and how the Oakleys got here.
Yeah.
So we usually start a tour here 10:30 in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. It lasts about 20 minutes. It's come and go, very casual. And so we start here and work through and talk about some of the different parts of the festival and the property and just past stories of the Oakleys.
So this is a cool point about the gallery that I have to point out, is that people do get wrapped up in the pottery and they get wrapped up in the glass and sculptures and all of that. But I think one of the unsung heroes of the gallery is actually everything that's planted here. And this is something you actually get to see on the historical walk. But guys, behind us is a whole entire nursery. So please tell my listeners and my viewers just a little bit about what's planted at the gallery.
Well, I don't know all of the plants, but
We probably will never have enough time to talk about all the plants.
I do know that there's a really fun story that you'll learn on the history tour about John Martin and how he and Sid Oakley connected, and how he started building a nursery and building the grounds. So that's something you can learn. But these plants are wonderful. Gardeners come in and say they've never found these kinds of plants anywhere else.
Awesome.
And they're really good prices. Most of them are $5 and less. So they're
beat that.
good to build a big flat and take home. And there's people here during the festival to help pick out the plants and help you with advice.
Awesome. Well, let's go a little bit further on something else you can do while you're here during the festival. So here's another really cool place at the gallery that is actually open, per se, during the festival time. This is the kilns that actually Lisa talked about us earlier in the first segment. So here's actually where they put all the lovely pottery. So Christine, tell us a little bit about this process.
Yes, so last weekend on Friday it took 5 or 6 hours to load it. There's like about 200 to 300 pieces of pottery in here.
I don't think I actually realized how many pieces went in. Okay.
Yes, there's someone that gets in there and they hand pieces in and put it up, and it took about 5 to 6 hours, and then they started, there's probably 5 or 6 artists, different work in there, and then they started firing it on Saturday at 8 a.m. So they put the fire, the wood in through this area where the bricks are closed up.
Okay.
And that goes from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. that day. So they are constantly putting wood in to get it hotter and hotter. And I think it gets up to, sorry if I'm wrong, but definitely over 2,000 degrees.
Okay, so way too hot.
Yeah, so really hot. I mean, you see flames coming out.
Oh, wow.
This door is
you can
closed
see
up.
the remnants of it all over the keel, so that's pretty cool.
So, and then what's really exciting, this only happens during the spring festival. In the fall, we don't fire it up because it's just it's a big process. There's a lot of people involved.
Yeah.
So next weekend on Saturday morning, around 10:30 or 11 in the morning-ish, they'll start pulling all of these pieces out.
Cool.
So, they have to take this brick out one at a time, because there's not just a door, and they'll put those away and then start filling in on tables. And so it's really fun because you get to see the work that the artists put in at the same time the artists are seeing it.
Oh, wow.
So it's really fun.
It's not like we have predestined this or we already know what this is going to look like. It's like, as soon as you know, I know.
Yeah. So that's really fun.
And what's some of like the pieces that the artists actually put in?
There's a lot of pots. There's a sperm whale by Alan. I'm sure there's
sperm whale.
Yes, there's a really big.
We're gonna talk about that in another segment because we're gonna go to Alan's spot here at the gallery to talk a little bit about that process.
Yeah, so there's a lot. I'm sure there's a lot of Alan and Rosemary Bennett's pieces in there. I think Deb Harris has some. Rain Middleton, who was here last weekend, she's a local North Carolinian potter. So I know that and then there's some other people that had pieces in there. So lots of vases and different things, fun things. Yeah.
Awesome. So the next place we guys are going to take you is actually a demonstration area that you can actually see. We're going to talk about Raku firing. So stay tuned. So this is another process that Christine wants to tell us about that actually happens here at the gallery also. So tell us about this one.
Well, John Martin worked with Sid to develop this crystalline glaze, which these blossoms happen when there's certain chemical interactions in the glaze, and when it gets hot enough, these things bloom. So they put this glaze on really thick. They have a catch ring at the bottom because it drips off, and they usually knock this off. Well, they put it in the kiln, and somehow the shelves weren't even, and the shelf, one of the shelves leaned, and so this is what you got.
This is what you get. A bunch of art put together.
Yeah, they're really beautiful. But sometimes, you know, things happen with artists, and things aren't always perfect. They don't always come out perfect, and it's a process, and it's a learning process. So we like to share that with people, that there's a lot that goes into making this work.
So it's more than just what you see on the shelf. So I know this looks a little weird where we're at right now, but this is actually another one of the live demonstrations you can actually see here at Cedar Creek during their spring glass and pottery festival. So Christine, tell us a little bit about this type of pottery.
Well, this is an ancient Japanese process called Raku. And what happens is that Alan hand builds all of his fish and his pieces of pottery, and then he will fire that, and then he will layer on glaze, and he will fire it again in this other kiln. Well, then he'll pull that out really hot. It's like 1700 degrees. Pull it out with tongs, and he'll put it. He will put it in this these basins, and with sawdust and wood chips, and it's really a dance. It's really something that they have to move, and it's just by experience. He's been doing it over 40 years. But what happens is it's really fiery. It touches the wood and gets, you know, fires up, makes a little flame, and they choke it out with a lid.
Which is cool, right behind us, which is kind of cool.
So what that does is it cools off that glaze really fast, and it makes it shrink. So then it cracks, and then all of the smoke that's from the fire gets deposited into the pottery glaze and makes this crackly look. And so then he'll have some helpers over here.
And they're usually young people.
Yeah,
and my daughter has
helpers.
Actually done this when she was little.
And they'll hose it off for a little bit and scrub it, and it's ready. It's like ready to sell. So you get to see that, and a lot of people enjoy that process because it's fiery, and he does all sorts of little experiments, and Alan himself is really a joy to watch and meet.
Yeah, you got to do the Raku firing. So you got to make sure you go to the website, cedarcreekgallery.com. It has a whole schedule of when all these lovely demonstrations will happen and which artists they're going to be featuring. So please don't miss out on it. This is Angela's personal favorite. So hey guys, we have really talked about a lot of great things that you can do here during festival time at Cedar Creek Gallery, and we're right here at the front door that welcomes you actually to the gallery piece. But there are a couple things, Christine, that I don't think people know that they can do, they can eat, they can drink during festival time. So let's go over a couple of more things that people can do.
Yes, we do have one food truck out each day. Again, like you can go to the website to see which food truck is here. To feed people if you're hungry. We have live music going up on the porch of that barn over there, and just that's fun to sit out on the grounds and just enjoy if you want to just take a break. And Tobacco Wood Brewing will be here both days serving some beer, some craft beer, so that's really fun. So some people can just chill out while everyone else does the demonstrations and shops. Yes. And there's definitely a lot of shopping. We have a lot of artists bring in their work right before festival, so our shelves are really full of beautiful things to look at. And any other time outside of festival, you're welcome to come out and bring a picnic and just take your time. And we've got painters who come here and paint. Yeah. So there's always something fun to do.
So there is absolutely a lot of fun to be had, whether you like to shop, whether you like to paint, whether you like to do anything in the art world, you can do it here at Cedar Creek Gallery. But I kind of wanted to give my listeners and my viewer a little insight when they come to visit the gallery. What are some things that they should expect, and what are some things that they should know before they come?
Well, I think that with anything, there's a big draw. A lot of people love this event, and we love hosting them. So sometimes, there is a little bit of parking. You have to walk a little bit. We do have an area that out front that if you need help dropping someone off that can't walk as far, we're happy to accommodate. Or we've got a few spots that people can park there if they need handicap accessible or anything like that. We do have a frequently asked question on our website if you need to see it. We do ask that you keep your furry friends at home if possible. We don't think that this is an environment that they will be comfortable in. It's really crowded, and sometimes they are distressed with a lot of the things that are going on, the demonstrations, and it's really more for people's entertainment, and I don't think the furry friends get as much out of it. So if they can stay home, I think they prefer that place over the gallery.
Because we always have to keep in mind that, yes, we're standing in front of the gallery, but darted throughout this whole property are actual studios, and these are people that work in them on a 7-day basis. But during festival season, they're all open. So there are a lot of different things going on. So remember your safety. Remember to come out and have fun. Bring your family, bring your friends. And if you want more information about what's going on at Cedar Creek Gallery, Christine, where should they go?
CedarCreekGallery.com.
And you guys are also on social media?
Yes, we are. We're on Facebook and Instagram.
Well, thank you so much, Christine, for taking us on a little mini tour. I hope you guys can be able to come out this weekend. It is Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. But matter of fact, you can come to the gallery anytime. It's open 7 days a week, Monday through Sunday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., other than major holidays. So, guys, if you want to find out more information about what's going on in Granville County, just simply go to visitgranvillenc.com and check us out on social media at Visit Granville County NC. Everybody have a great day and go do something fun with art this weekend.